This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
It's the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast.
We're old school, right? We wash our own dirty laundry.
The name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
I refuse to be judged by a grown man wearing a hockey jersey.
Game on!
Game on!
We are back with another episode of the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast. DocNoyes and Wade Hampton. Paul, he is currently at the airport sending us pictures of him having a nice glass of wine before he jumps on a plane to go to the wonderful expo over in Germany. First, hope he has safe travels. It's a great flight. We always enjoy seeing the pictures from over there, hearing the stories once he gets back. So I hope the German Expo and all that goes off beautifully. The drink this evening is Rebel Yell. I'm actually trying to empty bottles in my collection before I go buy any more bourbon. So I'm finding bottles that are low in quantity. So Rebel Yell is the bourbon of this evening. Cheers to everybody. Wade with his Dr. Pepper as always. The fizzy and the sugar combination there is always a masterful flavor.
23 flavors, man. I just finished cutting grass. Nothing makes a guy feel better than Dr. Pepper after mowing and trimming.
You know what? When it's hot, I'll do some of that too. Is I'll throw the bottles in the freezer. I'm mowing and then come back in, then it gets extra icy, but not completely frozen over, and makes it kind of slushy. Oh yes. For hot days.
Now you're talking my language.
For the drinking side of things, we can't forget our sponsor, the Drink Your Face Off line of barware and clothing for Mitch. Please reach out to him for any of that stuff. Thinking a little bit about that tonight as I'm home. Of course, Midwest, you and I are only an hour and a half apart, and was beautiful going into work. It was like 67 degrees. We had a big heat wave for a bit. Now it's kind of dropped off. Kind of feels like a touch of fall. And with less than a month till training camp, you kind of get that spark of, I can't wait till I can throw on a jersey. So
yeah, no kidding. Today the weather was great today. It was really nice to get a little break from all the heat and humidity. So, by the way, I'm going to give a shout out to your new filming location.
Yes,
looks great.
Spent multiple weeks to make this look average.
No, it looks good.
Work in progress, but yeah, my oldest child is now living on her own. So my son moved across the hall to her bedroom, which was bigger, which then freed up the second bedroom to turn into an actual office. Because anybody that doesn't know, or I know I'd mentioned on the podcast a little bit, my previous recording location was my kitchen table. And I just had a big picture window behind it where all the jerseys are hung. So I'm going to be tweaking stuff yet, still trying to fill in some of that empty space. I'll eventually paint the walls because, yeah, that is bright yellow and red, by the way, for one, those listening on the audio, and two, just people that can't quite tell that color.
A couple blue stripes. It'll look like, get a couple sideways blue stripes. It'll look like one of the retro jerseys.
Hey, we gotta blues it up as much as we can. So
I love it.
Yeah, so it's getting there. It's been fun just kind of prepping and trying to decide how I'm going to do different things. So I'll add more. I need to put some shelves and some other things to get more cool stuff underneath. The other big thing, big thank you again, is Earl Skakel. Holy cow, the reception off that podcast was amazing. What did we talk? I think Earl joined us because we only start recording or start getting with everybody about just before 8 o'clock. Earl joined up about 7:45. Him and I talked before anybody else had come on. We did the show just a minute or two under 2 hours. And we talked for almost under an hour and a half after that. At some point I may start like the Patreon where people pay, and we'll do some completely unedited type of episodes with Earl and some others where it's just off the wall.
I think that's one of the things that, everybody that listens and watches the show, obviously catch the show part of it, right? Which is great. And I don't think unless you've been on the show with us or have been a guest, like there isn't a time that we don't spend probably an hour plus either before and or after or whatever, like cutting it up with our guests. And Earl was a lot of fun. His stories were great, but we do that with a lot of people. I think it's a lot of fun. I think that's one of the parts that beyond the show, which I love doing, and I love people's response to what we do here. And I know we've said it 1,000 times. It means so much to me, the positive, reflections we get on the show. Even the people that say they don't like certain parts of it or don't like whatever, I appreciate that as much. But like part of the fun and part of the thing I love more than anything else is the 2 or 3 hours I get with, and we always say it, our friends. I get 2 or 3 hours one night a week just sitting around shooting the breeze with you guys, trying to keep my dogs from making noise. And I feel real fortunate about it. So thanks again, Earl. Thanks a lot to all our other guests as well. And Doc, you're the man for putting this thing together.
Hey, it's fun with technology, and just I got lucky in that I can't play hockey worth a crap, and yes, this is on video, but I have more of a face for radio anyway, so it's always continued to carry me on. So very, very good. I also do want to mention a side thing, and I will put a link on the both the YouTube video and on whatever the audio streaming platform you listen to, podcast platform, is I am again doing the Pucks for Autism skate game that we play before the St. Louis Blues hockey game. This year is November the 15th. Luckily, they just put the dates out. I got signed up. I am going in net again, so there is a possibility that we could have a follow-up goalie card, Wade. Because the picture that everybody is seeing has seen at some of the expos already. We'll even see in Germany when Paul gets over there. They are definitely going worldwide, but that was taken last year at the Pucks for Autism skate. So I will make sure, and thanks to the Blues photographer that volunteers his time, comes and does that. And about a week after the game is done, we get the link, and there's 300 or 400 pictures he takes. Yeah. And it is such a cool thing. So everybody that donated last year's support, we went as the whole group went over our goal. So I appreciate all the support then. I will put the link in tonight once I publish this. If you can reach out to me, you can find it on my Facebook page as well. Also, if you are in other NHL cities and you play, shoot me that you'd be interested in playing, because there is a whole list of other cities that are doing it. They are doing it in Buffalo, Philly, Chicago, Minnesota. The only reason it's keeping me from doing it is to be able to go to Vegas in April for the Frozen Four instead, is they're actually doing one, I believe it's the 3rd of January in San Jose. They're also doing a Kings one, I believe Dallas, and there's 1 or 2 others. So if you guys play in any of those cities, or if I didn't list them, shoot me a message. I can get you the list. It is a super cool experience. It's a let's say it's a chill skate, because it does get competitive, but you get a lot of the special needs people involved in that as well. They skate with us. So it is such a cool thing. And to get to play at an NHL arena, either before or after a game, depending on that particular team sets it up. And then you also go to that game. It's not heavy fundraising. It's not a ton of work. Plus you get a cool jersey and socks. Really, really is neat. Pucks for Autism has become a great program. So it is, I am always excited to be part of that. Speaking of Chicago, remind you again, the Saturday, November 15th, their expo. Reach out to Sean. I know tables, I've seen Sean posting, tables are going very fast. So reach out to him. If you also go, there is a Chicago Game Worn Expo Facebook page. Get a lot of details and stuff out there, or like I said, reach out to Sean. The Vegas Expo, a ton of more info for people if they have not seen it out there. Join that Facebook page as well. That will be Saturday, April 11th at New York Hotel. We will actually be able to be allowed in the room Friday evening, do all the setup. The reservations for hotels and expo tables are all set up to go. So just give you a quick rundown on the room rates depending on when you're coming in. Wednesday, April 8th, and most of the hotels, if you haven't gone to Vegas in forever or ever been, do have a resort fee. New York's is $45. So there is the base room rate and then the resort fee. So Wednesday is $104 with the regular rate and everything. Thursday, $134. That is the the 2-game set of the Frozen Four. So who's decided to go to the final games? Friday, April 10th, 224. Saturday, the game night and expo day is 260. Sunday, 104. Monday, 104. And Monday night, as a reminder, Vegas is back in town, so there is a home game there. There's also some Barracuda games going on as well. The rates are valid if booked by September 3rd. I know that's a little bit of a quick turnaround, but worst case, book it if something happens. I don't, in the info I have here, and I can find out from Paul, I don't have what the cancellation time is. I'm assuming it's a handful of days before, but I will get that from Paul and find out. So yeah, if you even think you're going, book the rates at this, because in general, the hotel rooms out there are going to go very quickly.
Yeah, Vegas hotel rooms get pretty crazy, especially for a weekend. So
yeah, and with the Frozen Four and that, I mean, it's cheap to fly to Vegas from anywhere.
Yeah,
we saw the amount of people in St. Louis for the Frozen Four; it was insane. I mean, even I was being a local, I was shocked when I took my wife and I took Paul and Monica to the Arch up in there, and the amount of people that were there, and the teams that weren't had nothing to do with the Frozen Four at that time. None of those teams had been playing were there. All just the draw from outside. So
yeah.
So it is a great time. Get that booked. If you have any questions, reach out to Paul. Get on the expo page for Vegas. Anything else with your expo coming up in October?
No, I should be announcing a couple more autograph guests soon. Beyond that, like we're having a pretty steady run of setup tables, and have room for plenty more. So I'd love to hear from some people, some out of town people. It'd be great to get some support from some people that are out of the area and want to come in. So looking forward to that, but we're getting close. It's kind of crazy. Hockey season is sneaking up on us.
Yeah. Well, because we'll get a month from now, we'll be in training camp or wrapping that up and getting into the preseason games, and then we'll be looking at your expo dates.
Yeah, it's crazy,
and it's insane.
Absolutely.
Auction wise, the only I think it closes tonight though. The Colorado Avalanche have an auction of a bunch of random stuff. The Boston auction just ended before we started recording, so good luck to anybody that was bidding on that. I checked the pricing. And the lowest end ones must have started at 600, but I may pull up before we get done with the show, kind of see where some things closed. Only live auction that I see running across different things still is if you now want to get a Utah Hockey Club / Utah Mammoth stick out on NHL auctions, they do have a whole lot of those out there. Those end August the 24th. You got several Logan Coolies, St. Louis kid Clayton Keller in there, and some of the pricing's not bad. So I don't know if they'll go up between now and when the auction ends, but that is out there. That was really the only.
The only other thing I saw was AHL Auctions has a spattering of jerseys, and
see those were all down when I checked a bit ago. So now
they're down.
It was just banners is all I saw.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the jerseys must have closed. They had a few Springfield jerseys, which obviously are associated with St. Louis, but those had the sizes on them were weird, and they were selling them as issued, and they still had tags on them, so it wasn't something that interested me as much.
Yeah. So that with that, and actually getting really quick into the just pulling up the Boston auctions here. Of course, now it kicked me out of it. I was trying to look at what the highest bid was, but yeah, it won't let me sort now that the auction is done. But let me see if I can find something here. I'm just curious to kind of see where these sold. Let's see. There's the home Swayman at $1,950, the home Pasternak $4,400. Geeky is at 1010, closed at 1010. They had 8 pages worth of jerseys here.
Oh my God.
The home and the road. Well, okay. And they also had nameplates in there too. Centennial nameplates, which, wow. Some of those went up there at $240, $350 for Brad Marchand. Charlie McAvoy at 275, Pasternak 375. Heck, if you didn't care about jersey, who you were getting, you could have spent twice that much and got a jersey of a random player. So yeah, and I don't like that I can't sort after the fact, but I guess it is what it is with their auction stuff.
I guess the only other auction thing I know of is Classic has, I think, a September auction that should be rolling out really soon. So that'll be always interesting to see what the good folks up there at Classic present to us for another fabulous auction.
For sure. We have a little bit of an alert here. I don't have a police siren loaded up in my stuff. Otherwise, we could have done that. We need unfortunately need a be on the lookout. And I will let you go into the story.
Yeah, today was a long day. I came home last night from work and I had a box waiting for me, and I went and picked it up and it was empty. So I had a Radek Fosca a Winter Classic style, worn in 2 games, Blues jersey that I had acquired from a fellow collector and friend. And it arrived, the box completely empty. So of course, then you're scrambling with that other collector to try to figure out, what the heck happened, right? So long story short, I got up this morning, went to my local post office, and was presented with a little bit of a headache there. I don't want to get too much into details, but the lady at the counter said she remembered it, but wasn't extremely helpful, and then suggested, reach out to, call this number, blah, blah, blah. So I tried to call. They weren't very helpful. And then in talking to a few friends who have been helpful, who work in the postal business, and I've had a lot of people reach out with great advice. I actually drove down to the St. Louis. It's actually right next to the Enterprise Center, the St. Louis post office, which is actually the big sorting center as well. And got there, and again, not a ton of help from the first lady at the first window. So they actually have a postal police office. So I went there to try to get a report and report the thing. It's been a lot. So I actually went back to my local post office and spoke with a supervisor there, and then drove myself to my town's police department and filed a stolen item report. So I have a police report on it. So in case it pops up somewhere, I at least have documentation that I have turned in a lot of the pictures that you see here and the information on what happened, so that if it does pop up somewhere, hopefully I have some type of recourse. I am pretty certain that I'm never going to see the jersey again, or if I do, it won't matter because I probably won't get it back, or it's either been lost. I'm hopeful that it's just lost, right? And the box somehow opened up, but based upon the way the box is, I don't think that's the case. It's just a really frustrating situation. And I guess, we decided we wanted to talk about it. I was a little kind of apprehensive about bringing it up on the show this week, but I do think it's an important part of the hobby, right? I guess the biggest thing is, we've had a couple people who made comments about oh, was it insured? And let's be honest, nobody's insuring packages for the cost of the jerseys because the price then goes up so substantially. And this was a transaction between me and a friend. So it wasn't like I was, dealing with an eBay auction or dealing with somebody I had never dealt with before. It's just an unfortunate situation for both the seller and myself. And that's really the way I look at it. I guess I'm hopeful that it pops up. I'm dreading popping on Facebook Marketplace or on eBay and having it show up there, because I do have a police report, and if somebody did steal it, I think it's only right that they be caught and punished for it. Again, I'm hopeful that it fell out of the box somehow. It ends up in one of those, post office auction things, whatever. But chances are it's not. But I guess this is a great time to just talk about this can happen. Right? I mean, I sell and buy and trade, I would say, a lot of jerseys a year. I mean, I probably handle, I guess in my brain, I want to say probably 100+ packages a year, right? And I do that a lot every year, and this is the first time this has happened. So I'm not mad at the post office. I'm mad at the system for how difficult it is to get any kind of communication from them, right? Like anything meaningful or any help. But I also understand it's a big national organization. It's a giant organization, and my one hockey jersey probably isn't their biggest concern.
And I mean, from our perspective of things, as soon as you told me what jersey it was, I knew, because I actually own the matching helmet for it.
Yeah.
I got it, I think the same option for that matter.
Yeah.
But it was one of the two times that they wore the Winter Classic style, and it was, I think, a record-setting game for the Blues where it was a 12-round shootout, and Foxa won the shootout.
That's one of the reasons I really wanted the jersey. So it's kind of super frustrating. I can only laugh. I mean, anybody.
There's only so much we can do, and it's just like, can you just be pissed?
I mean, I think everybody knows I'm a pretty passionate guy.
Gee,
I wear my
think?
Yeah, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm pretty out there with like everything. But like, I'm not really good at getting mad. I don't think. Like when I'm mad, I'm really mad. But like, this isn't like a mad thing. I guess it was like I'm more upset and disappointed. I feel bad for the seller because like what a crappy situation for him, and then I feel bad for me because it was obviously something I wanted. I guess I'm at this point. I actually wish. I hope the thing just goes away. I hope that the post office helps me and they either find it or I just let this fade away. My worst case scenario is that it pops up somewhere because that's going to be worse for me, I think. Right.
And that's a question I'll put out to the audience, because we do see, unfortunately, we see these posts all the time where got an empty box, got the jerseys were just lost. The seems to mostly happen, I think, with the post office, but yeah, tracking was good to hear, and then they could never find it again. And I mean, some cases I remember 5 or 6 jerseys going missing, like in one package, and it was just And you're right; those don't ever seem to show up. So you wonder where the hell those are.
Yeah. I guess I felt. Yeah, I feel fortunate that I as much as this is a jersey I really really wanted, and it's going to be like a 1-year style jersey, and it's something I really really wanted. This in the same sense, I'm really glad it wasn't something like way more expensive. I guess I don't have a good answer because it doesn't feel like it feels any better that it wasn't something more expensive or something less expensive. It still sucks, right? I guess the biggest thing that like we throw out to everybody is like, you can't pay for insurance on these things, because the other thing is the thing I discovered here is even if I had the insurance, the process of getting anybody at the post office to kind of give a crap or help me out or do a claim has been absolutely disgusting, right? Like there's been like, and that's not really, I'm not trying to bash anybody, but it's been a frustrating day.
Sure. When you're trying to sort this out because you are out money and a product right now, you're trying to figure out where the system broke down.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I guess the biggest thing that I was really frustrated with today was like I was kind of told by somebody in the post office that there was protocol that should have happened when the box was discovered empty. That kind of didn't happen. They kind of half-assed that, and that kind of makes me like there would have been an easier part of the claim on it for me with the post office if somebody would have kind of done their job better at the post office. So that part makes me like more mad than anything else, because then people are like, oh, you should have insured it. But that wouldn't have changed the fact that like the post office kind of dropped the ball on servicing the problem, right? So I guess I'll end it with, and I don't want to make this a big deal, but I'll end it with, make sure that when you ship stuff that you're taping boxes, that you're protecting the product, that you're being sensible about how you ship. And that wasn't the problem here, but we've had this conversation on the show before, right? Like we've talked about how to package a jersey or like what to do. And in this case, it wouldn't have mattered, but in the same sense, like just make sure you're protecting yourself and paying attention to the product. Cause man, when it actually does go awry, it really is pretty shitty.
Yeah. And to be abundantly clear is you and the seller are working close together on, through this process. So it is not a a complaint at the seller at all. They have been
No.
awesome with this and
Yeah.
everything. But you guys are working to hopefully find sort out the final resolution on this stuff. So
Yeah.
so there's no
No
negative
animosity.
there. It's just
Yeah.
the process that you're now having to go through is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. So I guess part of my hope is that with all my emails that I sent tonight and messages I've left at different places, that somebody somehow tomorrow reaches out and says, "Oh, we found your jersey." But I guess the realist in me says that the next time I see it, it's probably going to be in 2 years when somebody bought it out of one of those mail auction things that they do where they sell the bins or whatever, and it's going to be on eBay from some shitty seller. And then I'm going to have to reach out to them and tell them I have a police report on how it was stolen.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, but that's why you document all that. And there's the other question for the audience, and feel free to message me. I'll read the responses, comment on wherever you listen to this. How often do you insure when you send a jersey out?
Yeah.
I know I'm trying to remember. I know, does the post office with tracking, is it still up to like $100?
$100. Yeah, that's what they told me today. That was the one thing. She's like, well, it's only $100. And I was just like, and there's been comments made like, oh, did you insure it? And I'm like, yeah, but like, so I guess now for me, if you buy a jersey, or if I sell you a jersey, or if I send you a jersey that's really expensive, it's getting insured now. And
Right. You don't want to go through this again.
Yeah, if you want to buy a jersey from me or whatever, or if I'm going to buy a jersey that's really expensive, I guess I'm just going to pay for the insurance just in the if come. But I guess then the question becomes, how are you going to prove? The question about it now would be, even if I had the insurance, how would I prove that the jersey was worth what I claim it to be worth, or what I insured it for? So there's still questions there. It's just a crappy situation.
But well, and I mean, and again, I don't know that process, but if you're filling out the form and paying the extra saying it's worth this much, I thought that was all they went after is, okay, you filed it for this, because I mean, they're not going to do, if you say, oh yeah, I'm shipping a $2 million painting, they're going to,
Yeah, no. Yeah.
but a reasonable thing like that. And I do remember in past conversations over the years, either in the forums, in Facebook groups, whatever, or even conversations at expos, is when this comes up sometimes is, okay, do you up front go to the buyer if you're the seller and say, the jersey, you're buying the jersey at X. Do you want it insured for that? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, okay, hey, the shipping cost is this, it's fully insured. If it's lost, we'll sort it out.
I don't even think about, like, the funny part is, until this happened and it got brought up, I honestly, and pardon my French, I've never fucking thought about it. Right? Like, I mean, like, when I get something shipped to me, I'm just like, yeah, just ship it, whatever, I guess, my expectation is that most of the people I deal with are hobby savvy enough to know how to ship a jersey. And like I said, we've done it on the show where we showed people how we do it. So I guess to me, it's always been like an afterthought, I think the only time I'm ever amused is like whenever I buy something off eBay. Because a lot of times, I mean, like, the way that shit shows up is classic. Right. I mean, especially with somebody that's not hobby, like, oh my God, I've had some stuff show up where I'm just like, I can't believe this got here. And secondly, like, how did you think this was how you should ship this?
Sure. And I know in some cases, like, if you're shipping internationally and you know the person and stuff, and you're trying to be as economical as possible, you may do some very creative packaging.
Sure.
I get that. But that tells me the seller and the buyer are communicating closely, going, hey, it's not going to be fancy, it'll be protected or whatever, but we're going to do this so it's not $400 to ship it wherever it's going.
I mean, the biggest thing on that, like with the USPS, if you use them, is going up there and getting the right box, because like the funny part is, if you use the wrong box, it'll cost you way more. Whereas if you get the if you do a little bit of research and get the right box, it's pretty economical to even get it over to Europe,
Right. And I guess this also brings up the other question, and we'll put it between the forums and the Facebook groups, is there and again, a little bit going back to the discussion of, are you insuring this or not? If the answer is no, is the and again, your mileage may vary, and some people may sort out some kind of deal between the buyer and the seller. If the jersey's lost, how does that process go between the two? Do you refund or give it a little bit of time, see what happens, refund the person, say, hey, you didn't insure it, you're SOL. I mean, where do you as listeners land on this? Because I expect to have a varying degree of answers, honestly.
Absolutely. I think that next week on the show, I'll follow up with whatever my results end up being. And after I talk to the seller, I'm going to maybe if I don't want to disclose too much right now as far as that stuff goes, because I try to be respectful, because we haven't really discussed like making that a public thing. But like how we've resolved it, I think is an interesting conversation. So
and of course, and like I said, continuing to be completely transparent and upfront, as you guys have been very close and communicating and sorting stuff out. So this isn't a knock on the seller.
No, it's not a knock on anybody, I don't think. Yeah. So and definitely not. I mean, I have nothing but respect. I do want to say thanks to everybody who has reached out and given tips. I've gotten a lot of feel bad for me messages, which I think is great. It really was, as much as I hated getting them, because it's like keeps kind of digging a little bit. It was actually really kind of people to actually care. So that was pretty cool. So thanks.
And it is a pretty looking jersey too. I mean,
it sucks. I wanted the damn thing. So,
honestly though, and that may help your cause just a little bit. I mean, at least help people keep their eyes out, because it's not just another Blues jersey.
No, for sure.
One that will stick out if you see it posted in groups or posted on eBay, wherever.
I'm really hopeful.
At least one is going to catch your eye.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's going to be unique enough that if it does show up and there's been enough eyes on it in our community that hopefully it will come back to me. Or it goes back to the seller. I mean, at this point, we would obviously have to figure out how we would handle that, but I would just like it to be found, I guess. So thanks for bringing it up.
Bring the jersey home.
I hope I don't sound like too much of like a crybaby on this, because
it's something that needs to be discussed, because it does happen frequently enough, and this isn't and because initially when you first called me yesterday to tell me about it, before you got the full story out, my brain immediately switched to porch pirate type thing. But you said it was marked from the post office, arrived empty. Okay, that cuts a bunch of steps out of it.
So it's funny, and I don't know, I mean, like a lot of people don't know this, but like my mother actually usually gets my mail so it doesn't sit out with packages and stuff. So it was funny was after I had talked to you and everything, I ended up calling her and I go, hey, did you notice anything weird about that package? And she's like, yeah, that one didn't weigh anything. I just started laughing because
they shipped you air.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, she's like, what was in that one? Because it didn't weigh anything. And I was like, yeah, there wasn't anything in it. She was just like, oh no, but it was kind of funny because God bless her for always helping. Shout out to Matt McGonnell and his wife for a lot of really good, helpful tips in this process, and everybody else. Who I'm not going to go on a whole list, but people that have messaged or given me numbers or helped with whatever. Thankful to all you guys for your help.
And a quick side note too with Wade, and I don't know that we've ever told this story on the air or not. Me sending some packages to you, I'm the eternal smartass.
Yeah.
Write inappropriate things on the outside of the package, and then finding out your mom picks up
those
in your house.
Yeah, those were pretty funny. I
think the first one I sent you was in caution inflatable sex goat.
Yeah, this was early on in our friendship and stuff. And I remember you did it and you're like, did you like it? I go, yeah. I go, dude, my mom gets I don't live with my mom, everybody, so we'll clear that up right now. But I'm not in the basement. But my mother lives close and whatever. So not to get too into my private life, but she gets my mail and stuff. So yeah, Doc sends this thing and I'm like, Doc, dude, you realize that my mother gets my mail? And you were like, oh no. And I'm like, yeah, dude, this is
the great. Next time I'll make it worse.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, no, it was really funny. I like that kind of stuff. I'm actually really good on that. If you ever get me to Venmo you, there's a good chance I'm going to put something absolutely disgusting in the tab on the Venmo. So
Hey, that's
And
all
I,
part of the fun.
if I do that, I usually tend to make sure it's the public one because I want all your friends to know that you just paid me for sex.
Yeah, I mean, reading through those, it's funny the number of people, and I just send some money to somebody today to pay for a skate I'm in Saturday. Just
Yeah.
scrolling through and seeing what people, I'm like, haven't they learned by now with all the national media attention to that kind of stuff to privatize that? But
Yeah.
nobody seems to care.
One of my coworkers actually just bought us opening night tickets, and I'm going with some buddies from work, and I Venmoed him over the money for my ticket, and I put sexual favors in the tagline, but I made sure I put it private so it just went to me and him because he got it and he's like, oh, and I'm like, dude, I made it private, nobody's gonna see it. He's like, thank God. He's like, everybody. I'm like, yeah. I was like, 'cause I mean, we're buddies, but we're not like on that level, you know.
Right.
I do feel like having work HR calling me on like the next day and being like, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? So, but if you know me, you know that, and you know there's a good chance we're gonna pull some kind of stupidity.
Yeah, around
You're right.
Christmas time, I may start picking up some of those really insane boxes that you can buy for
Yeah,
inappropriate stuff to wrap Christmas presents in. I may have to start doing some of that for a little bit of Jersey sales.
I think I'm gonna start sending Rick Ackerman ones like Trump ones, and there's a couple other people that I'm gonna start doing that too.
God, he's a nice guy. Don't give him a heart attack. All right. On that note, I mean, again, we hope Paul has a very safe trip over to Germany.
Yeah,
Can't
for
wait till
sure.
he's back to hear about that expo. It is super cool that he's headed over there for that.
Can't wait
Lots
to
of good things
hear.
coming up.
I always can't wait to see the pictures and hear the stories. Um, that's a tough one to make. I wish I had a schedule that was forgiving enough to make that happen. Who knows? Maybe someday, when me and Scarlett Johansson hook up and I'm a millionaire. But until then, I'll just have to be hopeful about it. But safe travels to Paul and Monica, and everybody have a fruitful and fun show in Germany.
And it's always neat to see the pictures too, to see what jerseys are in Germany.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I wouldn't expect that one to go there.
No, for sure. It's always cool to see that, like, they have some really great stuff over there.
Oh yeah. And another side note thing, we're talking about working with other people and sorting out issues and stuff. Help the fellow collector if you can. I had the opportunity the other day. We're actually still in the middle of it because I'm waiting for it to show up. But our friend Rory from New Zealand reached out saying, hey, there's an auction I found. I want to see about picking up a jersey, but excuse me, the auction site won't let me sign up because of where I'm at. Do you mind helping me out? Like, I got an account, shoot me the link, take a look at it. Where do you want to stop on the bidding? Okay. Ran it, and I think it had like a day to go. He ended up winning it. Now I'm waiting for it to show up here, and then we'll sort out shipping once it gets here. But
Roy's an awesome guy.
But I know we've got so many international collectors that those Dash and GiveSmart and others don't allow international bidding. So again, if you're comfortable with working with somebody or need stuff brokered, one, give the people enough time to, one, make sure they can do it. Don't like reach out 10 minutes for, hey, this auction's closing, I can't bid. Can you bid on this for me right now, to hash out the details? He gave me plenty of notice and asked if I could do it. I was glad to help, and we made it all work out. So help your fellow collector on things like this. It will always come back to pay you back and things. So just another friendly reminder of things that just come up in the last week made me think of other stuff. Anything final from you before we get out of here?
No, just ready for hockey season. Ready for all the new stuff. That's a lot of news this year for the Blues. So that's something that I never try to like regionalize the show too much, but obviously everybody knows what we collect and a lot of news for us. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for that transition into some new stuff. I guess the only thing I have to add is how thankful I am again. And it sounds stupid, but a lot of people that reached out this week with that stuff was pretty cool. And just, thanks again for everybody for being a great community of people.
Definitely. Like, subscribe, follow again, thanks to Earl. He put it up on his social media, and the number of follows that we got between YouTube, Spotify, and Apple just
Yeah.
shot to the roof. So things like that help us out a lot. You don't have to be a famous comedian or anything to do that. Share it out. If you got friends or family you think might even kind of like it. We got an extra listen tonight because my son was listening to it. Cares. He'll go watch hockey with me, but he doesn't play. He's not a collector or anything. But I told him about having her all on, and he texted me just before we started recording. He's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" He said he grew up next to O.J. Simpson. I mean, just crazy things like that. So he was spending the time tonight listening to the podcast. So even if you share an episode like that where it's a little out of the norm, do it. It means so much. And any of you guys that listen on the Apple podcast side of things, give us 5 stars, comment, and that. I've found that there's some ways to kind of tweak and get us up the charts more if you do that. So we really appreciate the support. If you want to come on, if you have topics, things like that, reach out. We are constantly looking to book guests. We've got some in the pipeline very soon. Once Paul gets back, we got scheduled with some other people booked up, and a lot of fun things on the horizon. So cannot wait.
Yeah, we are IMBD official now.
Yes. If you go, funny. Thank you for the reminder. I was had just set that up, or was in the approval process before last week's show. If you go to imdb.com, and which is Internet Movie Database for those who don't know what that is, and search for Dirty Laundry Game Worn Hockey Podcast, you will find it now. I was unaware, and again, thanks to Earl, because I was doing research before we had him on about what other shows he'd done, things like that, and it listed he was in podcasts on their site. So I went to find out how to add ours, and now we've done it. I'm starting to try and get through to add all the show listings, but at least Earl's show is there. So
pretty cool.
And the fact that we tag him, then it shows up in his big list of accomplishments. So yeah, it's cool to get that out other places. So definitely check that out. Thank you guys again. We will have another great show next week. Have a lot more topics and things, and some more updates on the battle with the post office, as it was with Wade. But hopefully that jersey does show up and get it. And at some point, I'll bring the helmet. You bring the jersey. We'll do a nice photo shoot.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. We will see you back next week.